What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up? Welcome to the show.
What is going on? So please continue to listen throughout the week. So Monday and Tuesday, we have our topics. Both of them are very relevant to this past weekend's or week's events. Wednesday, we have a very good interview / discussion with Mr. Johnny Jones Jr. He is a podcaster, YouTuber, and the co-founder and president of a nonprofit called Tech for All Foundation. Definitely tune in for that one. Thursday should be Ask Us SP, where I field your questions, people trying to break into cybersecurity. Or even information technology, but it's SSP, so we hover over cybersecurity, right? And then on Friday, we talk about everything else. So we try to avoid the cyber talk and talk about the media and all that good stuff that we consumed. But there's always some cyber in there of some sort. But with that being said, I give this over to Shannon.
All right. So this one is from zdnet.com. It's written by Jonathan Greig. I hope I'm saying your name right, Jonathan, Greig. I'm guessing, but Greig. But title of the article, Colorado Energy Company loses 25 years of data after cyber attack while still rebuilding network. And they actually have a subtitle here. It says DMEA did not use the term ransomware, but said much of their data had been corrupted while phone and email services were down for weeks. And I think the importance of that is that what ended up happening, right? So this Delta Montrose Electric Association, DMEA, so they actually got hit with an attack a month ago. This was November 7th. This actually hit them, right? And they're still struggling to recover a month later, right? So what ended up happening was this cyber attack they had, it took down 90% of their internal systems, caused 25 years of historical data to be lost. Now, they reassured us, okay, they reassured their customers that none of the sensitive data was lost, right? Social security numbers, names, credit card numbers for payments and things like that. But they did lose access to be able to do payments online and things of that nature, right? So they actually just recently, they have a timeline here of how everything happened. So November 7th was when they got the cyber attack, right? And again, they're not trying to call it ransomware, right? Because nobody has demanded anything of them, right? But November 7th, they got hit. They actually had an investigation that was completed on November 15th, right? Which they assured their customers they're highly confident, is what they said. No sensitive member or employee information has been compromised, right? They had to set up a temporary phone system. This is just wreaking havoc on their customers, right? Now, where this falls into I don't know. I don't want to say more serious territory for me, right? So like this is in Colorado, and we're coming up on the winter months, right? Like I live in Colorado, so we're coming up on the winter months, and what you run into is that you have some of these companies that they're all about that dollar, right? I'm not saying that's the case with these guys, but they've assured their customers that they're not going to take any action on them because of this until January 31st. So they're going to have issues trying to get people to make their payments and do everything that they need to do, right? Because of this, because they lost 25 years worth of stuff, and they were having problems getting their payment system up. But they're saying they're not going to have anything. They're not going to suspend any services or anything like that till January 31st. But this is one of those things where if you are a utility company right now, like you should definitely be on the lookout, right? From everything that we've seen, there's no way you can't think that you're not a target these days, right? Look at what everybody is going after. Let me not say everybody's going after, but look at what's been hit, right? You got your water treatment facilities, you got a gas pipeline, you got electric company, right? Companies now. So these companies like this, I don't know what happened here. I'm not going to sit here and assume they weren't doing what they needed to do. I mean, these guys are getting smart. These guys and gals are getting smarter when it comes to doing these attacks out there. But you've definitely got to be on the lookout. Definitely got to be on the lookout for this stuff, because you are definitely a target in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? But LeVon, what you got on this, man?
Yeah, I think this is an incredible situation that happened here. I mean, this is, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but this is like something that's for a company used to lose 25 years of data, I mean, you know, Ryan talked about it earlier, but you would think that somebody would have archived this data, put it somewhere that it was like safe, that's like, you know, not connected to anything, basically just like, you know, it's not being used, it's not being accessed. It's just like in case of emergency, in case somebody needs to access the data. So like to have that data be accessible and to be lost in a seemingly easy manner. We don't know all the details as far as how they lost it, but for that to happen, it's like, I feel like obviously somebody may have made a mistake somewhere to allow that data to be accessible and not to have it archived, or maybe somebody just didn't put together like a disaster recovery plan that was fleshed out to be able to, you know, think of these situations where, hey, what if our server that has 25 years of data gets compromised? Do we have a secondary backup location somewhere else? For them not to have that, I think it's kind of obviously concerning, and hopefully that, you know, this is you know, a kind of a wake up call for the company to make sure that they are taking the steps necessary to make sure that their data is secured and archived and backed up and you know, redundant, you know, all this kind of stuff, just to make sure that it's highly available for consumption. But it's very interesting, and you know, the part that you mentioned that kind of caught my eye when you said that there's they suspended all penalty fees and disconnections for non-payment through January 31st, 2022. I was like, I'm sure there's some people out there like, yeah, we're getting like an extra free month. I was like, you know, I didn't have any money this month, you know, this month anyway, so I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to get some free service for a little bit. But nonetheless, I mean, maybe somebody can get like a little bit of a benefit out of it. I'm sure they try to come back from the money later anyway. They're like, oh, you still owe us that month, and now additional month for the time that we couldn't collect payment from you. But nonetheless, it's I guess there may be some silver, like a, what do you call it, like a silver lighter, like there might be some positivity out of the end of this situation. But yeah, but nonetheless, it's like it's very concerning. I mean, hopefully they kind of take this into consideration. Maybe they want to, you know, re-up, or maybe they want to like kind of take a look internally and look at their workforce and make sure that everybody's aligned to the proper you know, fields, and make sure they have everything covered as they should. Because I'm sure that they do not want this to happen again. It seems like it caused some big major issues, and I'm sure it's going to cost them a lot of money. And now they have 25 years of data that's missing. And how do you kind of recover from that? How can you, like, you know, maybe try to recreate some of this lost data that you no longer have access to, that's 25 years old? It's just incredible. I can't even imagine. But Ryan, what you think about this one?
So I think you hit the nail right on the head. Business continuity, disaster recovery, vulnerability assessment. Like, that's what cybersecurity is for, is to protect the company. Like, it's not just buzzwords. Like, these things are baked in, and they obviously were not covered appropriately. So 25 years, I don't even know how you can equate that, because like Shannon said, it was a cybersecurity-esque attack, ransomware-esque attack, but they didn't ask for ransom. To our knowledge, at least it hasn't been disclosed. So they came in, disrupted the internal network, and corrupted files up to backups. Apparently, like if they didn't have backups, I would not be surprised in this case. But if they did have backups and they still were able to access them and corrupt them, it's like, wow, they hit you with the full gamut.
But it could be negligence on the company's part too, right? So like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, just because they do the backups, you're supposed to check them as well, right?
Right.
So just take them and putting them in a facility somewhere or doing whatever. Because from 25 years ago, more than likely they're doing tapes, right? There wasn't some type of, you know, some type of other electronic backup or whatever, but they were probably doing tapes that they just never checked on, right? Or something of that nature. But you don't just tabletop these things and say, okay, yes, let me check the box. We do have backups. They're over in wherever.
Right.
And I'm guessing at that, but more than likely, I want to say that's more than likely what happened, is that I don't want to sit here and say they weren't doing the backups or they weren't doing any type of disaster recovery. They just didn't verify that everything that they had worked, right? Like tapes like that, those are only good for so long, right? Before they're degraded beyond before they're degraded beyond usability. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and it's a pipeline, right? So You're like, well, let's just recreate the data, or let's just start fresh, or what have you. But you have to think, like, now you're taxing some of the employees at that company are being overly taxed. Over the past month, they've been generating products at breakneck, nonstop pace. And then you have other people who rely on those products who are not doing anything. So you're losing productivity. Like, you're spending money on things that you're not using. So, and these other people are getting burnt out. So it's a domino effect across the board. And that's why cybersecurity is so important to business. Like, you have to invest the money and time, or your business will suffer nowadays, because people aren't kicking in doors and stealing servers anymore, or they may be doing that too.
Right.
In these high profile cases, that's not what's happening. Like, they're sneaking in, they're wreaking havoc. Who's to say they didn't corrupt the backups and then attack the internal network? You know what I mean? Like, work it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're like, oh, let's go to our backups, and like backups are corrupted. You're just like,
like, damn, no.
It's like, So it's very unfortunate. I don't mean to make light of it. I'm just saying, like, this is the purpose of cybersecurity, because you have people out there who sometimes they just want to see the world burn. They didn't ask for money. They did this. They just did it to do it, to see if they could do it, make a name for themselves, and that's tragic. But it's a thing that could happen to you. And like Shannon said, if you're high profile, if you're energy company of some sort, like, you are on the hit list. So you need to double up, or if you not even double up, like, just invest in the resources if you don't have them. So if you have gaps in your team, you need to fill those gaps with knowledgeable, experienced people that keep you safe. But
yep.
So all I got for that one. Again, tune in throughout the week. So Monday we discussed the Log4 shell vulnerability that's out there that currently has a patch. Very, very recent topic that came up. Wednesday, we have our discussion where we talk to Johnny Jones Jr. Johnny is a podcaster, YouTuber, as well as he is the co-founder and president of the Tech for All Foundation, a nonprofit to help veterans and people of color, or both, get into IT and cybersecurity. So definitely a great initiative. We talked to him on Wednesday. Tune in for that. On Thursday should be Ask SSP, and then on Friday we talk about everything else. So continue to tune in. Hit up the website www.theothersideofthefirewall.com to get to our socials. You can hit me up personally. I am at Ry Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and IG. And you, LeVon? Yes,
sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Take care.